What's up, guys? How are ya? Yeah, man, it's so good to see you guys. Okay, I gotta ask, how many of you in this room relate to that video? What just happened there? Anybody? Yeah. Me too. It's crazy. Well, guys, we are in part 2 of Real Talk, as you could have seen in that video. And for those of you guys that I have not had the chance to meet yet, my name is Ashlyn, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Y'all picked an amazing day to come to Transit. I mean, we just got to watch Aubrey get baptized. Her whole entire small group is here cheering her on. Incredible. And you guys get to have an amazing talk right now. You get to go to an amazing small group time. You've played amazing games. I mean, Transit is just the most amazing thing ever. And if this is your first time with us at Transit, guys, welcome. We are super pumped that you're here. You're honestly what makes Transit the absolute best place to be. So I hope that you'll continue to come back. But as I said, we are in part 2 of Real Talk. And so in full transparency, wanting to be real and open with you guys, I need you guys to know 3 fun facts about me, okay? 3 fun facts. The first is that I love coffee. And I know so many of you in this room also love coffee because I watch you come into Transit every single Sunday and you have either Dunkin' or Starbucks or who knows what you have. But my favorite coffee of all of the coffees is for sure Starbucks over Dunkin' all day, every day. Yes, I gotta clap for that. And my favorite drink is the vanilla sweet cream cold brew. Fact number 1. Fact number 2, I really love games. Whether it's playing board games or it's playing card games, or honestly, my favorite phone game right now is Wordle. Anyone play Wordle in here? Yeah. I love games. Games are the best. Okay, fact number 3. One of my absolute favorite things to do is go on trips or vacations, and specifically, I love going on spontaneous trips or vacations. So guys, I kid you not, last semester, me and my friend named Lauren, who you guys get to see up here sometimes, I'm walking around Transit, we went on a spontaneous trip to Disney. We decided at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning that we were gonna get up and drive. I mean, we were bags packed in the car by 10 a.m. and heading on to Disney World. And we didn't stay 1 or 2, but 3 full days in Disney. And honestly, the best decision of my entire life. I love spontaneous trips, and I especially love Disney. But here's the thing along with all these fun facts. Yes, I love coffee, I love games, I love Disney. I'm sure y'all in here do too. But what makes each of those things even more incredible is when I get to experience all of those things with people that I love and with people that I know love me. People that I would consider as my people or my squad or my crew. People that I know I can be 100% honest and 100% real with. But if I'm honest with you guys, it hasn't always been this way. I haven't always had people in my life that knew me at that level and that accepted me for who I was. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate with this too, because honestly, it's really hard to find your people. It's really hard to find your people. And I think this can be because of so many different reasons. Maybe it's that you moved states or you moved schools and you're starting somewhere fresh and you're having to figure out, okay, so actually like who goes to school here? Who can I hang out with? Who can I actually let know me? Or maybe it's you're literally just switching sports. You used to be a soccer player, now you want to be a basketball player, trying something new, but you were in with the soccer guys, maybe not so in with the basketball crew. Or maybe you're trying to play a new instrument, whether you're in band or orchestra, or maybe you're trying out for theater for the first time. You're kind of trying to feel your way through middle school. You're trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at. And all along that journey, you're trying to figure out, okay, who's gonna stick with me through this? Or maybe you take it a step farther and maybe you found a group of people that you thought were gonna be your people, that you thought you had your back every single time, but you actually got hurt by them, you actually got burned by them, they lost your trust, and when trust is broken, it's so hard to earn back, and because of that experience, you've actually decided that, no, I'm gonna close up, and I'm gonna keep myself hidden, and I'm not gonna be real with people anymore, because all of these people have hurt me. And so I think we'd all agree that it is really difficult to find a place to be real. it can be really difficult to find a place to be real. And because of the fact that your trust is broken, and because of the fact that you have felt burned by other people, you've come to believe this lie that it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth being real because you're gonna risk yourself getting hurt. And in fact, I think we'd also all agree that we only want to be real when our real looks like everyone else's real. And what I mean by this is that you think, and I think so oftentimes, that you have to be the exact same as the people around you, that you have to like the same things, do the same things, because if that person is cool, then maybe if you do the same things, like you'll be cool too, and they'll accept you for that. And I think we get trapped in this cycle, and we get trapped in this lie, and we think that we cannot be our real selves because no one out there is actually gonna accept us and love us for who we are. But I don't want you guys to stay stuck there because that is not the truth. And if you can't take it from me, I want you to hear from a guy. His name is Peter. He used to be, well, when he lived, he was a disciple of Jesus, one of Jesus's 3 closest friends. And he flips this upside down for us. He completely changes the story. And so Peter, he is writing this letter to a group of people who are followers of Jesus. And these people, they're from all sorts of different cities. They have different cultures and backgrounds. They eat different foods. They speak different languages. Nothing about them is the exact same. But I want you guys to look at what Peter says to him, because what he says to them, I think, can tackle that lie to the ground that you have to be the same as everyone around you. So look at what he says. He says in 1 Peter 3:8, finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Now look at this first word here. He says, be like-minded. Be like-minded. And you may be sitting here going, Ashlyn, I told you, like I'm supposed to be the exact same as all these other people around me in order to get along. But that's not actually what this word means. It doesn't mean that you have to have the same likes and dislikes and preferences. Remember who he's writing to. He's writing to a group of people who are completely different when it comes to those things. What he's actually saying is that you should be of one like mind in agreement with how you're gonna treat the other people around you. With how you're gonna treat the other people around you, because here's a truth that I don't want you guys to miss. God intended for us to appreciate our similarities and respect our differences. To appreciate our similarities and respect our differences. Because no one in this room is the exact same. You're all unique and you're all created by God, and there is such a beautiful thing that happens when we can actually appreciate how we're similar and respect how we're different. And this is how Peter is telling us that we can actually live this out. He goes on in this verse to say that you should be sympathetic. And being sympathetic just means that you actually are going to be able to understand what another person is feeling. And I mean, how amazing is that when you're opening up and you're sharing something, when the person you're talking to can actually look at you and be like, hey, I get it. I understand you. I hear you. That is the best feeling in the world. And that is what we're called to do for the people around us. And Peter continues on to say, hey, I want you guys to love one another. I want you guys to love one another. And this is actually one of Jesus's teachings. Jesus said when he was here on earth, hey, I want you to love one another just like I have loved you. And guys, Jesus has loved you with the most sacrificial and unconditional love of anything that you would ever experience. And that's how he calls us to love the people around us. And Peter continues and he says, I want you to be compassionate. And this word compassionate just means I want you to be kind. Maybe that's a friend at school, they drop their books on the ground or their pencils, and you're actually like, oh wait, I'm gonna stop in my busy day for a second and help them pick it up. That way they can get to their next class or their next thing. Or maybe it's a friend that is opening up to you about something hard that's going on, and you actually are kind enough to be a listening ear for them and to comfort them. Or maybe it's simply when you get home at night, you are actually getting along with your siblings, or you're helping your parents with chores around the house. You're being kind in those actions. And then finally, the last thing Peter says is be humble. Be humble. Meaning you're not gonna think higher of yourself than other people around you. You're gonna be willing to apologize when you know that you messed up, even if that feels like it's hurting your pride. You have enough humility that you can own where you messed up for the sake of the other person. Or maybe that means when you're at school and it's at lunch or you're walking through the halls and there's that person that maybe isn't in the popular crowd, you're actually willing to go up and be a friend to them because you have enough humility to know, I'm no better than anyone else. We're all on the same playing field here, and we're all called to love one another. I don't know what it may be for you, but Peter is asking us to walk through life in a spirit of humility. Now, you may hear all this and go, Ashlyn, that's great and all. It sounds great, but that's just not how it plays out at middle school. That is not how it plays out in my everyday life whatsoever. And you know what? I get it. You're right. There's a lot of people that don't live the way that Peter is talking about here. But newsflash for you, if you look around the room right now, look at the people you're sitting with, your small group leaders. Every single person in this room now, you've all heard this. You have just heard this now of this is how you're supposed to treat the people around you, how you're supposed to be of one mind and in agreement that this is how you're going to go throughout life. And because all of you have now heard this, you are all accountable now to be able to live this out. Because here's the thing, maybe it doesn't exist in your middle schools yet, but it could. But I think it starts right here at Transit. It starts right here with your small group, that you guys actually start living this out, that you are sympathetic and you are loving and you are compassionate and you are humble. Because I want you guys to be able to confidently say that in small group, I can be the real me. In small group, I can be the real me. And that's because you know that you as a small group have now agreed that you are going to treat each other like this no matter what comes up in life. No matter what comes up. So guys, we're heading into, obviously, the rest of the school year, but specifically this next weekend, we are going into Transit Weekend, where you're going to have so much time to be with your small groups. And you're going to have so much fun, and you're going to have inside jokes, and you're going to play games, and you're going to stay up late. But you're also going to have small group time where you have the ability to open up and share what's actually going on in your life. And so I have two challenges for you guys going from here. One, I want you to fight that lie in your head that you have to be the exact same as every single person around you to be accepted or loved or to be cool, or you fill in the word there. I want you to fight that lie because it's so not true. God has made you so uniquely and so amazingly, and we want to know the real you. And two, I want you to team up with your small group, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, and that you guys actually agree, hey, we're gonna live like Peter talked about us living. We are gonna be a place that shows sympathy and shows love and shows compassion and shows humility, because it's worth it for people to feel like they can be the real them in small group, because that is how we learned last week. That's how you build real relationships. And so this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to go from here. You're about to go into small group time, and I want you to go ahead and practice this. Now, at this point in the talk, normally we give you a question that we throw up here on this screen that kind of gets you guys talking, kind of get you guys prepared for small group. But today, I'm just going to give you a little spoiler, a little teaser of what's about to come in small group. Your small group leaders are all going to share an embarrassing story with you. Your small group leaders are all going to share an embarrassing story with you, and this is an effort for them to be able to show you guys what it's like to be real. It's an effort for them to be able to show you guys what it's like to be real. And you guys get to practice everything you've just heard about. Sound good? Okay, let me pray for us, and you'll be dismissed to small group. God, I thank you so much for this day. I thank you so much for these students. I thank you so much for these leaders, and that we have a place like Transit that we can come to where we really do know that we can be our real and authentic selves, and that we're going to be met with love and compassion and acceptance here. So I ask that as these groups go to small group today, that you would give them the courage to actually open up. Let people see the real them, because the real them is amazing, and let them be able to open up about what is actually going on in their life so that they can experience that gift of community. I thank you so much for loving us and for accepting us for who we are. It's your name I pray. Amen.